Yo, what's up, everybody? Lobo here. We just saw probably one of the coolest moments of Star Wars TV. So let's go ahead and bring oops, wrong button. DanMalore and YoJimbo in here. What's up, guys?
What's
Oh,
up?
hello.
Man, where'd my adapter go?
This week's Star Wars content's pretty freaking amazing. Both shows.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Where do you want to start?
I was just gonna ask the same question.
Well, you're the host, so go ahead.
All right. Well, y-
Where's my adapter? Oh, is this it? Yeah, cool.
all right. Well, I watched Mando first. So
Oh, you watched
I'm
Mando first. Interesting choice.
I live action always comes before animation.
I like watching Bad Batch first because it's like Mando's the main course.
Like yeah,
Mhm.
the cartoon before the main movie, but like back in when
The
we were little
appetizer.
kids.
You need the aperitif before you get to the main course.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I'm not judging your choice at all. I'm just saying like the interesting choice.
Bad Batch really. Okay, well, let's talk about the Bad Batch for a little bit. Bad Batch
Let's do it.
wasn't a Bad Batch episode, really. It was a Crosshair episode.
Yes.
So
Although he's a
So that
former
was-
member, so it still counts.
yeah, he's more, he's Clone Force 99. I mean, even
Yeah, he would definitely call it by the proper title. But I think that episode showed that like he might have some buyer's regret.
right. So I mean, I've had the idea all season that, or actually since last season, that Crosshair was going to end up becoming a Death Trooper, and by the end of this episode, it certainly looked like he was getting ready for some medical punishment.
Here's the thing, though. He definitely showed some non-typical signs for clone troopers, considering they want them to be like, perfect killers or whatever. And he's like empathetic, and it showed that he actually cared about his fellow clone troopers.
Well,
For
I
the
mean,
first time, it seemed like he's like getting it.
Yep.
yeah, that definitely. But see that puts even more of the what's the word I'm looking for? Like, he's realizing it too late.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's
it's-
screwed.
He's come into this epiphany. That's the word I was looking for.
Mm-hmm. Right.
At the absolute wrong time. I mean, he shot a superior officer.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm kind of skipping the
Rightfully
whole story
so.
right to the end, but
Uh-huh.
yeah, that dude totally deserved it. That was probably the most, out of all the Imperial officers that we've been introduced to over the years, this guy was the worst. Whoa, we lost DanMalore.
That was a good call, though, to shoot that, like shoot
Yeah,
Lieutenant Nolan. He was
well,
quite awful. He was a bad
mean-
commander.
I mean, that guy put gear, like they discovered they were,
All they needed was
Guarding-
gear.
yeah,
All they needed was gear, and it was all around them, and couldn't crack into it. Above
Yeah.
their pay grade.
it's ridiculous. They probably, if they had access to the gear from the get-go, there
Mhm.
probably would have been more than 3 clones alive when we arrived at this base, the outpost, the titular
36.
outpost.
36 cycles late.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we need support. Go ahead and crack this box, and this box. That's what they should have got as reply. Not
Mhm.
we can't send any people, but you could use the things in these 3 crates or something. Like
Or a supposed power like obsessed with efficiency and like the willingness to turn over your troops, and then not
Right.
cracking open, just like, oh yeah, go ahead and open up one of them crates.
Dan Malore's back. What's up?
Sorry, technical
Oh.
difficulties.
Somehow you got
Oh.
to the hangar on Yavin pretty quickly though.
Don't ask. Having a little StreamYard issue, but I'm good now. I'm good now.
Were you able to hear anything we were saying while you were gone, or no?
No. It's okay though. Carry on.
Okay.
I'll pick up.
Well, we mentioned that Crosshair, killing that Imperial officer was well deserved.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was a jerk off.
Yeah. And
I don't know if you got the Aliens reference. I feel safer already. That's exactly what, and in Aliens, That's like one of the lines from that movie.
I haven't.
Catch that.
I haven't. I haven't
Yeah,
seen it yet.
when the officer shows up and the commander is like, "All right, Lieutenant, I feel safer already." Yeah, that was a good
I
one.
kind
man.
of feel like that's been in a lot of movies.
But the thing is he was specifically asking him like, how many missions have you?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
How many drops
How many
is this
missions-
for you, Lieutenant? That was basically that conversation.
yeah, it was like however many simulated.
Simulated, 3 simulated or something like that. Anyways, that's getting it's a
Yeah.
different saga. That's a different
Right.
Mhm.
franchise,
know-
but
Sorta. I mean, isn't Aliens Fox property?
yes, but it's a different franchise.
But it's
Until it isn't.
But I took it as an Aliens reference. That's what I'm saying.
You know,
there was
eventually a
a-
predator will show up in
there's a fan film called Imps the Relentless. It was
Mhm.
I'm not sure if it's still available anywhere, but there's a scene I think in the second or third episode where Imperial troops are called to a lower level on Coruscant, and it comes across Boba Fett and a alien, not an alien, and a predator fighting over the corpse of an alien.
Mhm.
It's a xenomorph.
'Cause that's all you need is either a xenomorph or a predator, and then
Yeah.
boom.
I mean, we
universe
almost
is
saw a
connected.
xenomorph in the last episode of Bad Batch. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Zillow Beast is pretty xeno.
at least in that
Mhm.
one phase,
Yeah.
at least that one phase that he was in.
Well,
But it's obvious the Empire doesn't give a crap about clones anymore. They're like
no,
they are
they're-
being phased
they're-
out as fast as possible. Use
they
them
are
up.
regarded as equipment.
Yeah, used
Mhm.
equipment.
They're
Yep.
yeah.
That was a good
Yeah, so
reference.
that's yeah. But yeah, so
Well-
I'm thinking though that the Crosshair now, because of killing an officer, he's on Mount Tantus
hmm
because that's where that woman works. And what are they gonna? They're gonna put him. I think they're gonna put him through the Dark Trooper conditioning.
Oh, is that what I thought they
That's
just
what-
wanted him
that's
to
what I
find?
think. I have no
Omega.
idea.
I thought they just
But-
wanted him to find Omega. Like they
No.
they're like he came up on the computer, it's flagged like, oh, this guy
Yeah,
has
Clone
something to do
Force.
with Clone Force. Let's put him to good use, hunting them down.
Yeah,
finding
but
them
But he
as a
if
dark
he's-
trooper, baby. That'd be awesome.
But yeah, but if he's willing to shoot an officer, he
Mm-hmm.
he's got to have some kind of punishment for that. So
Yeah, and
Yeah.
by punishment you mean totally upgrading him and his capability.
they're gonna make him more efficient killer, yeah.
Mhm.
And then set him after his friends, or former friends, or whatever colleagues. I don't know.
just a quick
That'd
touch
be better.
on last week's episode. Those clone commandos.
Yes.
Where were those seen before? Because everybody was talking about them on all the shows and they're like clone commandos.
Clone
where were
Command.
they?
Oh, you know what? I should have.
From one of the games?
I should have dug out one of my games. There's
Their
a
armor.
game. There's a game called Star Wars Republic Commando.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that what
came
they're
out
from?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I
That's
remember
the
that
force in
game.
that game.
Yeah, they're from yeah, it's a I think did it come out after episode 1? It's like a PlayStation 2 original Xbox era game. It's that
Mhm.
old. But it is available on Xbox Live and PlayStation Network for
And
digital.
it still runs.
Well, they did their backwards compatibility magic to it. I think some of them I think it might have multiplayer, but I'm not 100%.
So that was a deep throwback then.
Oh yeah.
Just
So I mean,
wanted to
they
mention.
also they showed I think they showed Scorch, who's the leader of the Clone Commando force from that game, last season when they first showed Mount Tantus.
Got it. I'll have to go back and look that up.
Yeah, it's weird. They have the light up visors and it's
Uh-huh.
Mhm. The
Not-
glowing
not very-
blue.
not very stealthy,
No, they're not
yeah,
about
but it
stealth.
looks-
they're just destruction.
but it looks cool. Yeah,
Yeah, they're,
they're
so
like-
badass. They have glowing visors.
They're like, look, shoot at me. It's like Superman with his giant S on his chest, or the
The-
Batman
the-
with the
They
yellow.
always
back.
use tracers.
Yeah.
They always use tracers so you can find where they're firing from.
So
Yeah.
the point they use them for is that like that Zillo Beast made quick work of them, so that shows how strong it is, right? Like that was the point.
Right.
It's like these are supposed to be the
That's
best.
the point. They're like elites, but they're not Bad Batch. They're they're like, you know, they're
Uh-huh.
super battle droid equivalent or
And
commando droid equivalent.
And the
The whole
2D
handpick thing.
the 2D Clone Wars, there was those colored commando clone commandos. Remember those? What were those guys called? They were like in a couple episodes.
The ones that were in the Getty Tartakovsky's
Yeah,
Clone Wars. I think those were also clone commandos.
got it.
I'd have to. I have. It's been a while
They just
since
had
I've watched that.
they were just colored, so they actually had
Yeah.
they're different.
Yeah, each designation, like
The different weapons,
what
too.
type of a unit you were, you had a corresponding color. Kind of like, you know, like Rex and Cody have the orange and the blue. You know, it's kind of like that, but it's a little different because each squad is like has one of 4 colors or something like that, if I remember remembering properly.
And speaking of armor,
long time though.
yeah, that's a deep cut, and that's why I like that they did that. And like we were talking about the armor, like what would they want the Zillo Beast for? Somebody brought up what if the fact that, like, let's say Commander Cody or somebody destroys the Zillo Beast research program, so that's why Stormtrooper armor is so weak. It's because they never got the Zillo tech to, like, you know, their armor just sucks. And so basically what they do now, stopping the Zillo Beast program, is like helps to destroy the Empire later. Like it's the knock-on effects later
There's
on.
no armor. There's no
Yeah.
effective armor. I like that theory.
I thought that was pretty good.
If they
Their
stop
armor
it,
does nothing.
Maybe the Zillo armor was never intended for general troops.
Yeah, maybe it's for Dark Troopers.
It's for you know, higher ranking officials maybe, and you know, and like people that are
Moff
deemed
Gideon.
more important. Yeah. That
So
tech might be
Palpatine
on-
never gets hit by his own lightning again.
Yeah, because that's, you know,
That
makes
is-
you look all old and stuff.
Yep.
He doesn't care.
Palpatine doesn't care. I mean, hides behind that hood all the time.
Yeah, remember when he showed up in a few
Rare-
episodes ago, and he
rare-
just looks all decrepit. He's like, you know, this is
Yeah,
what they did to me.
and
The
they-
Jedi did this to me.
Yeah.
Mhm. The Jedi did this to me when I was shooting lightning out of my own hands, and it bounced back and ricocheted and hit me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Why
they don't
did the
talk about
Jedi
that
do
part.
this? Why did the Jedi do this to me?
It's like a criminal who breaks into your house and then sues you because he tripped on something.
Mhm. There was no fence around the pool.
Right.
But in this episode, I mean, this is bound to happen. I was waiting for Crosshair to
Yeah, I
make
mean,
a
I
decision.
thought we were going to get Crosshair last week when we had the Metamorphosis title, but
Mhm.
you know, it's
We had been
this
asking
week
for
for
we've
the
been asking for
outpost.
Crosshair, and then we got
Yeah.
all Crosshair.
Yeah,
That seems to be the way they do it this
both
season.
times now. Yeah, both
Yeah.
Crosshair episodes have been pretty much just Crosshair and one other clone.
I still think they're pretty good episodes, though, to explore.
Oh, yeah.
What's going on with Crosshair?
But
It's good that they focus on him. I like that.
I feel like for me it further feeds all of these should have been aired 2 episodes at a time.
Mhm.
Because both times, you know, if you watch the Bad Batch, we would have got one kind of standalone-ish episode, because the Zillo Beast episode was definitely, you know, kind of it's a self-contained story. You know,
But it has Tantus involved, so
Well,
that's
yeah,
the
but
thread running through.
But that's the whole series running through for the most part. I mean, Mount Tantus was teased at the end of last season, the final episode.
Yeah.
That is,
This second half of the season's changing gears for sure.
Oh yeah, it's definitely ramping up. The episodes are a little bit more exciting. Like last week's episode had that huge horror element going on, which was fantastic. And now we have this, you know, psychological kind of thing going on with Crosshair, and dealing with the fact that, you know, clones are fully expendable.
Mhm.
He was told to his face he is expendable.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Of course,
Right, they
that
don't
guy knows no longer alive, but you know.
Yeah, that was a bad decision. I heard that the rest of the seasons now is going to be focused on the Tannis arc. So
Yes.
you know,
That is.
I mean, it's pretty
that
obvious at
is-
this point.
Yeah, unless for some reason the last 2 episodes are something else, because as far as I know, no one got those as pre-screeners. Everybody got up to episode 16, 17, and 18 are still, speculation.
Oh, the screeners didn't do the last few episodes.
No,
That's good.
And like the final episodes are is a two episode season finale. So
Got it. That's when they wax Sid because she's got to come in, man.
Gotta go. She gotta go.
Or they just never go to her again. Just boom, like she sent them to to grab the ship that had the Zilla Beast in it, and then the Empire rounded up everybody that lived that could have been a witness to that. So
That's going to be her undoing, though. She's going to try to turn them in, and a Star Destroyer is going to show up and just blast her from orbit. Done.
her
No
little
loose ends.
Yeah, take care of that little thread. You know, I that's what she deserves anyway. That's probably not what's going to happen, but
Yeah, I don't.
she's going to try to double cross them, and she's just going to be taken out.
I kind of feel like that's a little excessive, like a little heavy-handed for Disney Plus. I mean, yes, they did wipe out like most of the cities on Camino.
They
kinda-
killed random people on a
but
planet who just happened to see a Zillow Beast. Those people are all whacked too.
Well, they didn't. They said they would take care, or they're being dealt with. I think the line
Take
was.
care of them.
It's
Take them out.
Take 'em out.
Who
I don't think they're
knows-
talking about dinner.
Who knows
No.
what they are? Maybe they're going to force all those people to be stormtroopers.
Maybe they're going to a park. They're going it.
They're going.
Getting taken out.
They're
going
to
on
a farm.
vacation.
They're going to a farm out in the country.
Oh, okay.
Permanent vacation to a farm.
Mhm.
Yeah,
In the country.
They're going to go hang out with Old Yeller.
Yeah.
But so I mean that episode, like the whole, like the ice vulture, that was pretty cool. I mean, they never really showed it, but
That was like a death. It represented death to me.
yeah,
Like he had a
Yep.
choice, like that's death or change my ways or something, you know?
totally.
Kind of what I was saying. He hesitated in giving what was the commander's name? Nova? No.
Nolan.
No. Okay.
It was something
Eh.
it was Nolan, I think.
Was that the lieutenant?
Lieutenant Nolan, yeah.
Okay. And who was the clone commander on the base, on the outpost?
Mayday.
Yeah, Mayday.
Mayday. Yeah. Good memory. He hesitated to tell him his crosshair name. Like he didn't want
Didn't
to
really want to get to know him.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
But,
If you're not on that first name basis, it's less impactful when that person dies.
Yeah, when
'Cause
you've had the experience of like knowing people who've died in combat, they're like, I don't want to know your name, like until something like changes. No reason to learn that person's name.
yeah, but he couldn't ignore his clone background. Like that's what eventually got him to turn, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's
they
like
got to
seeing
know
that.
they got to know each other, and then he hauled his. After there was that whole no use carrying around dead weight comment,
Mm-hmm.
and then Mayday's pretty messed up, but Crosshair does the right thing and tries to help him.
Well, he saves him from the pressure mine. You know.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's probably the real. And
He's like,
he
"Gosh,
goes,
darn it."
he's like,
Yeah.
all right, that's it. No, I'm gonna go over there. Like
Mhm.
I'm not gonna stay. It's like I'm confident, but I'm not stupid.
Right.
But
Yeah.
that was pretty funny.
There's a protocol to
when-
this.
I like when
Mhm.
when humor's in there, non-forced.
Yeah. And it's not even like, oh, I can see myself in this person. It's like, no, you're literally clones of the same person.
Yeah.
You are all
It's hard not to
kind of the same.
identify. It's hard not to identify with his clone brothers that are getting whacked unnecessarily.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, I mean,
just to clear
so
the ledger, basically.
so unnecessarily that when they actually did make it back to base and Mayday was still alive, that commander guy was just like, whatever.
They're
Where's
not going
the
to waste.
gear?
It's
Yes,
not worth
where's the
medical
gear?
supplies. Yeah.
They're not going to waste
Yeah.
anything. Not even
And
a
not
st-
even that. Like they came back without the crates, but they know where the crates are.
Mhm.
You know, it's not like, you know, they didn't come back with info. You know,
Honestly,
it's like not only can we get the crates that they just stole back, we could get all the stuff they've been stealing.
yeah.
Mhm.
But
Honestly, it wasn't even important. That was the whole. It was just an exercise in futility. The whole thing. That's
exactly.
the lieutenant didn't care.
Nope.
He just wanted to write in his report. Sent clones out to retrieve equipment. They failed. They died. End of story. End of report.
Just an extension of like the grasp of power, basically.
Uh-huh. It would have been better if they didn't come back. Actually, for his,
Yeah,
coming back was worse. It's like shame.
But see,
You just knew that something ironic was going to be inside those, like in the cargo.
I felt that way
over
too.
like it's like
I thought it would
wasn't
be
even-
food or stuff they would need, and it kind of
Yeah,
was.
food or
Mhm.
medical supplies
Or weapons.
Yeah. Or more weapons. I mean, it turned out to be armor, at least in that one case.
Mhm.
But
Now, speaking
then
of
again-
armor,
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say that were we seeing those were transition stormtroopers, right? They don't look like a New Hope. They didn't look like New Hope stormtroopers yet. They look like halfway between, right? Did you get a good look at those
The
guys? They didn't
Yeah.
quite look like a New Hope level stormtroopers.
Oh, you mean the ones that came running? Yeah, those
Yeah.
ones.
these guys?
They look like McQuarrie.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No,
what do they
that's
call,
that's the transition stormtrooper because it's got
because it
like
looks like the art. What did they call it? The art design before they actually shoot a movie. Pre-concept art.
concept
art.
art. Yeah.
Yeah, they look like concept art stormtrooper masks.
Yeah, that's
They're almost
that's
there.
That's a good messed up helmet.
It looks
You
like
know
the
what I mean?
German
Yeah.
the German military helmet on top, and then
That's
the
what I'm gonna say.
stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Yep.
I forget what it's called, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
almost there. Like one more revision from Lucas on the storyboards on the wall, and you
Mhm.
got stormtroopers. That's the shape
then
of the
if you-
eyes, I think, right? The shape of the eyes.
Yeah, and the vents are kind of like the actual New Hope
Which
ones.
vent?
The
The mouth
that one.
vent, the
Mhm.
mustache
the top
vent
one,
or
the
top
nose vent.
The
Mhm.
nose vent, yeah.
Yeah.
The frowny face.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And that was the big problem with the First Order stormtroopers. They just didn't look quite. They didn't look. I don't know.
Mhm.
They were okay. I just prefer the classic stormtrooper.
Yeah, I am not looking forward to their emergence if if
Yep.
Mandalorian goes the direction that everybody's speculating it's going.
What I was thinking
Well,
when
the
I saw
show's never
when
going to
I
end, apparently.
right when I saw the armor breastplate, all I could think of is like, you don't want that one anyways. Like the armor you're in is probably better than the first generation stormtrooper armor based on everything we've seen.
Oh, clone equipment is way better than Imperial equipment. Even the Venator. There was like I watched a whole program like the equipment.
yeah,
The Star Destroyers, the clone had faster hyperdrives. They just spent more money. Like it was higher quality equipment. Like
right.
when the
Well,
Empire came
because
out, everything got cheap.
They had the full budget.
TIE
They had the
fighters
full
are
budget
cheap.
of the-
TIE fighters are cheap, mass produced junk.
It's one thing when you have to actually win a war, and then when you don't have any clear opposition.
right
you
when you're
don't
just
have-
building
you don't
this to suppress like
Yeah, you just gotta look scary, like
Mhm.
like in Andor, when they're training in the valley, and that TIE fighter just kind of it just goes by them real low just to be intimidating, not to.
Yep. just to
not to
remind you that they're
do that.
there.
It's like we're here. That's why the TIE fighters have that scream sound to them probably too.
Mhm.
That's probably intentionally engineered.
Yeah, like
But
a Stuka
Yeah.
with a dive bell or whatever they call it, dive horn.
That definitely doesn't look very high quality, even for
You don't want that.
you know,
You don't want that.
yeah.
Like Crosshair's gear and the Bad Batch's gear is probably peak.
Oh
armor.
yeah. Oh
You know,
yeah.
They got the best
Oh, yeah.
stuff, and then it just was downhill from there.
Well, think of
I
it.
feel like
Think of it. We're talking about a galactic empire and a galactic republic. It's the whole Roman thing. Like there was good armor, then there was bad armor. Like it was bad armor, then good armor, then bad armor.
Well, if it was Roman, if you could afford the good stuff, you could get the good stuff. But
Yeah.
a lot of people couldn't.
But otherwise, you just had to look like you fit in with the rest of the squad.
Mhm.
You know, it's like hopefully you come across a guy who died that's wearing better armor than you, and like in video games, you just level up.
And if you don't think about it though, from like you said, needing to win a war, so you're paying for someone from the time of their conception to all through their entire life, that's okay then. And at a certain point, you don't want to subsidize that lifestyle. You don't want to like have to pay for them children. Just go ahead and encourage those recruitments. Like that's how the stormtroopers corps comes to be.
Endless supply of stormtroopers. Like who cares?
Endless supply.
They're like more replaceable. More.
And it's like, well, I mean,
what are you gonna do? Fight against the Empire? Like,
it
seems like futile.
The Empire probably just shows up on a planet and says, "All right, hey, enlistments over here. If you don't enlist, you're a traitor."
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody of fighting age, at least one person from every family's got to sign up, or you guys are in trouble. You know, that's
even Han Solo signed up.
Well, yeah, but he was being chased by like gangsters.
Yeah,
well, I'm sure a lot of people were in the same boat.
He signed up as a get
under
out of
duress.
Death card. Yeah, under duress. Exactly.
I'm sure that a lot of them are under duress for various reasons. But
yeah, for sure.
When after he shoots the lieutenant and he passes out, do you think that was the end of the episode? It fades to black. I thought it was going to go to credits at that point, but then he wakes up in the in Tantus. So that was cool.
I kind of want to know how much time went by between
at least 24, 48 hours to fly to Tantus, right? So I don't know. I'm guessing. I don't know how far it is. But the fact that they didn't like kill him,
like this is a very, very intimidating thing. She says, "Cooperate and you might survive." So to me, that's for sure. We're gonna put you through some stuff.
Might survive the treatment or whatever mutation.
Yeah, they're gonna do something to him, pretty horrific, and
I think Crosshair is gonna die. I think Tech's gonna die. I actually don't think anybody in the Bad Batch is gonna make it.
You think,
except for Omega?
You think Crosshair and Tech will kill one or the other or each other?
Could be. I mean, to make it dramatic, like there has to be big stakes,
right? Right.
There has to be big stakes.
And
there's no.
I want a big steak. That sounds.
And there's
good.
no Bad Batch running around, they're going to be gone, swept away by history.
What do you mean? No Bad Batch running around
in the classic era, New Hope era? I think they're gone by then.
That we know of.
There's Rex. Rex doesn't mention them.
There's that commando unit that the Rebels crew run into, right? But that is still that's pre A New Hope, isn't it? No, I'm thinking about it out loud.
I could see like one or two of the Bad Batch making it, but it's not gonna go cleanly.
Dan, you watched Rebels, right?
Yeah.
So does the Death Star get destroyed during the Rebels series? Is the Death Star ever mentioned?
There is a montage series? At the end of Rebels. There's a montage
at the very end, but then but that's Return of the Jedi.
Yes. So
Rebels, Ezra and Luke are supposed to be the same age.
Yes. So right at the end of Rebels, pretty much right before A New Hope happens, it jumps to after Jedi, and Ahsoka and Sabine go off to.
No actual original trilogy stuff is touched on during Rebels.
No,
it's all pre.
I mean, you see them get A-wings, you see them get B-wings.
Right, we can see them A-wings.
You see basically Princess it's Rebels, so you're seeing like
Obi-Wan Kenobi shows up, but it's there's nothing that's like nothing that happens in the movies are directly mentioned in Rebels, right? Am I remembering that correctly?
Except for I mean, they mentioned that the destruction of the second Death Star, like the Battle of Endor.
I'm not aside from the finale episode of Rebels,
Uh-huh.
nothing from the original trilogy is mentioned in Rebels. Right?
I think so.
Okay. No story plots. There's characters, but no story plots. No story points. Anyway.
Yeah, because we know those
Nope.
stories already. So
Nobody's like, hey, you hear about that battle of Yavin 4?
Yeah, like no one's talking about. Did you hear the rebels blew up the Death Star? Like that. That's never. That's not a line.
and then Hera Syndulla's ship is in Rogue One. I mean,
Is
you see the ship. It's
Is
at the
it
Battle
Does that
of
really
Scarif.
count? Does that
Is
really
it the-
count though, or is it just like that? There's assets.
Well, it says Captain Syndulla report to the command room. Over the intercom.
Okay.
I mean, she's there at
yeah.
the base, dude, at Yavin base.
Right. Right.
I love the tone there. Like it's clearly there. I didn't see it, but I'll go with Dan.
It's one of those little Easter egg things, they threw in there,
Yeah.
and then they threw the ship in. It comes out of hyperspace at the
Okay.
Battle of Scarif. So that's about it. I mean,
Hmm.
is that that's not Rebels though? That's
Right.
Rogue
No,
One.
that's Rogue One live.
just a
action.
character. That's just a character from Rebels and mentioned, not even on screen.
Right.
I have a feeling the fact that Hera has a child, I have a feeling that we'll see the story of her again. We'll see her again someday. Why would they bring in a new character? Kanan's son.
I don't
basically.
think Dave Filoni knew that he was getting live action Star Wars work when Rebels got canceled. I think Rebels got canceled. I think Dave worked on that Star Wars Resistance show. And then, there was all that, sequel trilogy.
He was in Resistance.
Hatred.
I actually find that disappointing because
Well, they said, here's a Star Wars project for you, and you have a third of the budget you had on Rebels, which was half of the budget you had on Clone Wars.
and it has to do with a sequel
It
trilogy
kept
era too.
they kept reducing his budget, and he's still. I don't know if either one of you guys saw any of the Resistance cartoon, but for something that
I tried to watch a couple
for
episodes.
something that was aimed at like 7 to 8 year olds, it's decent Star Wars. It doesn't break anything too bad. And they actually had a really cool TIE fighter pilot that had like the TIE fighter pilot helmet with like a skull painted on it. Looked pretty cool character design, but enough about that show that's been off TV for
I feel like the heart
a while,
wasn't in it
and
at that time.
It was.
I mean, like they didn't have the budget. They didn't have like the full.
They didn't have
They
the
pulled the plug.
studio's faith. They didn't. They
Exactly.
only had what they had in themselves. But that being said, I think we're done talking about cartoons, and we should move on to the latest episode of The Mandalorian.
I just want to say, I agree. This episode of Bad Batch should have been a first of a two-parter.
Oh,
Right.
okay. Yeah.
I mean, that's what you were saying earlier. Just
No. I think this last episode of The Bad Batch should have been
the second part.
They should have showed the Zillow Beast episode, and
then
then
this
this
one.
one.
Okay.
And then that's where it would be.
Well, because we're in this
as
arc
well.
now, so
Because
yeah.
that was episode 12. That should have been paired with episode 11, in my
Got
opinion. But that being said, let's talk about Mando. What do you think?
Okay.
Unless there's more stuff you want to talk about,
No, that's.
Bad
I
Batch.
thought it was a
Bad
great
Batch.
episode.
or crosshair show. I don't know.
I've been avoiding spoilers for this episode of Mando. Like, so if there's any haters out there, then I don't even know what you want at this point, because
Like,
this was the
yeah,
episode I think
right.
everybody wanted last week.
I think we're getting exactly what I thought though. It's like the Mando quest. Like he's on a quest and he's just knocking things off of the quest list.
I feel like Mando got his butt kicked by nothing twice this episode too. Like
I don't know. I
Well,
wouldn't
not-
call
not
nothing.
necessarily
That
nothing,
creature
but-
was one of the coolest. Okay, compare last week's Pirates of the Caribbean guy with
Mhm.
this biomechanical nightmare.
Whatever
like-
that thing was
La-
inside of it.
la-
It's like
yes.
2 different shows almost. Like what the hell?
Last week's pirate thing was on the lines of Boba Fett mod gang. Like,
yeah,
Yes.
but the whole that biological
Maybe not
technical
quite that
creature
bad.
is kind of like a bit of body horror, especially with like
It was
as
great.
it got into like little tiny the slug
Right.
basically sliding away.
With the eye. Not just one of the coolest things in creatures in Mando, like one of the coolest things in sci-fi that I've ever seen. Like just a spider, then it like detaches and it detaches again. You know, like it's just so cool and creepy. Like you were
And
saying,
he's been
horror.
hunting Mandalorians who return there.
Yeah,
it seemed like
what did he those tubes, like, was it feeding off Mando's blood?
Yeah, it's like a spider.
yes, it was
Like
stealing his blood.
biomechanical. Like just life essence, right? Just gonna steal his blood and then use it to keep himself going.
Yeah, that's
But
That's what I was wondering if that was actually like a really, really, really messed up Mandalorian who's basically keeping himself alive in
Right.
like a little tiny brain box.
For a split second, I thought that when it started opening up and that droid thing got out, I thought it was going to be Christopher Lloyd.
I was hoping it wasn't.
Oh!
No, I was hoping for an Azellan or whatever the little guy in it.
I almost thought that for a second. But I like no explanation.
Yeah,
I like no explanation. That makes it scarier and just freaky. All those things. Like, what the hell is this monstrosity?
I've heard a couple other people talking
Theories?
about. They keep introducing characters or species and not giving them proper Star Wars names. Like the dragon, crocodile, turtle thing from last week. It was like some kind of like they called it something really. No, it was like
they called it something really silly.
Dinosaur turtle or something weird. Like it's like.
Are you also
it's
referring
probably
to
Mattel.
the Mythosaur?
Well, the Mythosaur name has been around for years. And years.
Since the original Boba Fett.
It's a bad name.
It is a bad name. It is a bad
Mythosaur.
Mythosaur.
It's the mythical Mythosaur.
Yeah.
Now, just not to jump ahead too far, but is that what we saw in the water, or is that something different?
Yes.
No, that is what we saw in the water. Now we're just jumping ahead.
They were,
and Bo-Katan was like, "Oh crap, there's actually is one."
Well, yeah. Didn't you hear the part earlier when they were saying that like the Mandalore like had to fight a Mythosaur, and like I'm pretty sure that the return of a Mythosaur for Mando for like Din being in the water is her like oh great, so he really is like the mythical leader.
Now help me out here. There's a bunch of little things I want to talk about this episode, but he fell to the bottom. Is that what happened? He didn't get sucked down. He just literally just fell all the way to the bottom.
He's a guy wearing a metal suit that went into the water with no propulsion.
He took off his jetpack.
Yeah, he took his jetpack. He went in there with no kind of propulsion. So yeah, he's gonna sink like a rock.
If it wasn't for Bo-Katan, he would have been dead. He fell all the way to the bottom.
But what is weird though is Bo-Katan like looked like she was using her jetpack underwater to get to him.
She was on that water planet before, so she
knows how to do that. But like, she should have caught up to him a lot sooner than she did.
It was odd how fast he got to the bom. That was like, did he get stuck down, or?
That's what I thought. I thought that he got pulled down. Like that he
torpedoed.
The Mythosaur was kind of awake.
Yeah.
That was a classic Star Wars thing, by the way. George Lucas always likes to. He made a very point. Always like they did it in Solo, in that creature in the maw, where a bunch of eyes open up, like he did it in Episode 1 in the, on Padme's planet. He just likes the eye of a creature, the startling. So I thought that was a nice throwback touch on that. But okay, let's go back to the beginning of the episode and talk about like R5 is kind of funny. First of all, go even further back. How Jawas are just Star Wars to me. So when I see Jawas show up and there's just they're just doing their thing, stripping. I just get tickled by that stuff. Like,
Oh yeah,
like they could just
especially,
literally have
like,
a show about most Espa or most Isley, just like shenanigans going on, people getting ripped off. But
just Jawa stealing things.
I would watch that. I'm just
Yeah, I mean, the Jawas that are Paley's friends are like they straight like they ripped off that dude's
it's a scam.
stuff.
Yeah, and the guy knew it
Mhm.
too. That's why he was so
And she's
pissed.
and and
I have to
she's
get the
selling-
parts from the mid ram. She's
Just
like
2
paint them so they
months.
look different. It's a holiday. I have to work on a holiday now. Like she's just
Mhm.
such a scam artist. But did you notice that Jawa's eyes were CGI? I like the old school where they're just like 2 LEDs behind a black tarp instead of like CGI eyes. But it was a little not a big deal.
They were CGI, really? I didn't even notice.
Go pull it up, and they're. It's like the Jawas have like a green screen face, and I feel like they just put black there and then two dots instead of just having little LEDs there. The classic style Jawas. It was the only thing that kind of threw me off. But Peli speaking Jawese or whatever. That was great.
She was straight up speaking Jawa.
I thought that, like I said, I could watch
And then going back
a show
going
about
back to
just
basic too.
scams on Mos Espa.
Mm-hmm. Like see what other kind of scam she has.
Wait till they get a little closer when she's talking to them. It especially in motion, I could tell like it. Those are CGI eyes, not like lights behind a tarp. But it's a small thing. But I love that stuff, man. I love that stuff. Yes, I'm asking for a Jawa show.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I do. It's like scavenge, rip people off. Was it a pod racer that they stripped?
No, it's just like a. It's just like a.
It was a transport. Okay.
Yeah, it was just a normal like land.
For a second, I was like, "Oh, look at this! There's a pod racer in this episode. That's so cool."
It's Boonta Eve. And where are you gonna find parts on Boonta Eve?
That's just a.
That's a hut.
That's just a regular
holiday
land speeder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's a hut holiday. Boonta Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's why they sponsor it, right? They sponsor it.
They do that. Yeah, they do that. The Boonta Eve race.
Peli mentions, "Are you here to take on Boba Fett? Like challenge him or something?" Like, was that a throwaway line? Did you catch that?
Well, because of the other takeover, Boba Fett taking over.
She's like, "Oh, are you back here to challenge him for control or something? Like, why are you back here?" That was pretty good. Yeah. It was so good. If she told the guy 2 months,
are the huts back? Are you taking out Boba Fett? That's
there you go.
That's just that's the subtitles right there. So
yeah, I know that helps. Thank you. Why was she rushing the Jawas if she told the guy 2 months? Is she gonna like resell this land speeder to somebody else now? She's like, put him back real quick before he comes back. Maybe she was expecting him to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wait a minute.
In case he realizes he got scammed and comes right back with the Jawas there with all the parts. That would look real bad.
Right, especially if he went and got some sort of if he went and got Boba Fett.
Exactly.
Or any kind of frontier constabulary.
Yeah, whoever Boba's got running. But wait.
R5 Rebellion name drop.
Yeah.
R5 wasn't in a rebellion. She's like, I think I forgot the line, but she mentions that like, he's as good as he was when he got back from the rebellion. Something like that. That was
he did not seem as good as he was when he got back from the rebellion.
No, she was just unloading him basically.
Yeah. That droid had PTSD as far as I could tell.
He blew his motivator as soon as she mentioned him going to Mandalore. Like he's great. Sparks shoot out. Like, oh no.
Hey, he did
R5s were the Pinto of Astromix. They're like the cheapest.
He got the job done though. Like with Grogu like pointing to the thing. Go here.
No, he's got plot armor because he is a specific R5. He is the R5 from A New Hope. So
right, but
they can't just whack him.
The line you're talking about R5D4 is as good as the
So-
day it came back from serving in the rebellion.
Yeah, so he's got
Mm-mm.
he's a veteran
Mm-mm.
Santa. You don't think he
No, it
actually served in
isn't.
rebellion?
No, I just don't think he's as good as the day he came back from the
No.
rebellion.
Yeah.
No. He doesn't have the
Well,
best
he might
parts.
be. I mean, his motivator didn't pop this time. Allegedly he did it himself, but whatever.
And he did get Grogu all the way back to Castle Cries.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that part where Grogu points at the screen, like because he's a
Oh, yeah.
Mandalorian now.
Yeah, the whole
He's
the
got to read
whole
maps.
So you don't get
teaching
lost.
Grogu how to read the scopes, and then the whole, oh, that's Mandalore. That's where I'm from. That's where Bo-Katan lives. Like that's pretty.
Yeah, he just
good.
points, take me there, and then
It's like
an
that.
R2 unit
Was
can
it, oh yeah, that's
understand.
right. Mandalore Concordia and what I just forgot. What's Bo-Katan's moon called?
I forget. With the castle.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't know either. He just pointed. So the R5 unit was like, okay, I can take you there.
Halavala.
That's right.
It sounds like Valhalla.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's Kale with Vala at the end, so
And
That's
she
intentional.
wasn't lounging posing this time. So we had confirmation of that meme that you shared to like around where she's like, oh, okay, I gotta
Trying to figure out
like
how to
I'm not-
sit. Did you see
Yeah,
that,
because-
Eric? That was so. She's like, shit. How do people sit? How do people sit?
How do I act normal? Act normal. Okay, here we go.
The actress reshared that so that because that's a cosplayer who did that,
Mhm,
and the actual actress reshared that because it was so good.
that's
Because it's exactly what you would think. Like, oh God, here's this Mandalorian guy. Let me.
Well, yeah,
But
I mean,
it basically confirmed that must have happened because there was the droid who said like, "You have incoming."
He's back again.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she was gonna try
she
to
was
kill
like,
him. She's
I thought
like,
that
let's
was
get rid of him
hilarious.
once and for all. I was like, oh damn, she's actually gonna go try to
Yeah.
like, fight him.
Yeah, she's so
That's-
mad when he came back. Like thought that he was back, and then like, oh,
Yeah, no, I
Also-
think she might have if he was there instead of Grogu or with Grogu, there would have been
some
I think
bloodshed.
there would have been a dark saber challenge.
Which kind of gets me to what I wanted to bring up that she wielded it. And
That
yeah,
was
I
cool
mean,
to see. And she
and
did a
she-
great job. She immediately like chopped that thing in half and like pieces. Was just slicing
She
the shit out
wielded
of
it
it.
like she knew how to use it.
Yeah,
and
because she
was, like,
trained.
sliding underneath it. Yeah,
She trained with Sabine. She uses it better than Mando does. Way better.
Well, yeah, I
Mhm.
mean,
like when he was using it, he was like basically it was just like weighed down, where you're like struggling to like lift it up and to get it like into a combat position.
Which goes to Lucas's whole thing. Lightsaber should be broadswords, like heavy swords, wielded two-handed and everything. So I like that's a throwback to the old school. You know, you got to have two hands on your lightsaber. In the original trilogy, that was like the rules. But yeah, the way she chopped that monster, it was just the sci-fi and it was a good mix of the fantasy. Seeing a Mandalorian wield the dark saber, fighting a giant mechanical monstrosity, like all those elements are there. That's like that's the part. That's what made this episode like amazing.
And it
I
fits
like
with-
last episode, but this is like it's what people
and
want.
it fits.
That's what
and
I
it fits with the idea that like the dark saber like chooses its wielder, but there's like a degree of like worthiness. Like she's trained in it. She knows how to like actually and is still capable of using it. And he's just doesn't have an idea of how to wield it yet.
He's got no training with it really.
No. But she like points out that he's not like Mandalorian to the core, but even like the people who are like as Mandalorian as possible do not uphold the creed. It's like the different level of belief in the actual ideology.
Right. Well, she does, you know, after Bo rescues Mando and brings him up to the surface, and she's making that pog stew, and he's like, "What is this?"
Yeah,
like,
what's pog?
She grew up with other Mandalorians drinking it, and he's the never take your helmet off. Never heard of it.
Has that ever been referenced in any other Star Wars media? The pog stew?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, just something new,
But
at least to the live action. No, that
Delicious pog soup.
that was good. Also, seeing the destroyed Mandalore, and they even mentioned it looks like it's been like this for centuries. It's just like, yeah, it actually hasn't been that long. I like that.
No,
Little,
like that.
this is actually recent. I like that. That was a good touch because it was recent. Within what, 15 years, 10 years, not even 10 years, right? They got fusion blasted by fusion bombs.
Yeah, I'm not sure when that was. Why don't I know that? I should know that.
If there's probably a timeline, it had happened before Din was born, right?
Yeah, I'm sure it's.
But what's her name is not that old. Bo-Katan's not that old. You know?
No.
She's
Well,
what, her
Bo-Katan
early
was-
40s.
Bo-Katan's been around to have been friends with, like, you know, Jedi before Jedi were hunted by the Empire.
I'm trying to
she was-
remember if Mandalore was still somewhat functional in Rebels, because Bo-Katan's in Rebels.
Yeah, it happened.
They still had the domes, right? They still had the
Yeah,
domes.
it had. To
Oh, the
happen-
Empire! The Empire destroyed Mandalore, so it has to be slightly
Yeah,
after the formation, which is covered in Clone Wars. The end of Clone Wars, it was still there. Yeah, so shortly after the Empire formed, is when Mandalore was. That was like one of those little loose ends they wanted to get rid of. Like, let's get rid of these Mando people.
Well, you're not going to suppress them, and you're not going to be able to like control them in any real way.
Exactly, especially because Darth Maul was involved with them. So they're just like, let's just solve all these problems at the same time. Just glass this planet. Yeah, that was cool. I like, I like the Indiana Jones going into the mines of Moria aspect to this whole thing. Ruins, anything like that with monsters down there. Like, it's got all the elements. Like, this is a fantastic episode because of all those things together.
It's got Morlocks and
right. It should have been last episode, and this should have been a 2-episode back to back, in my opinion. Just because it needed the first episode had all that stuff, and it just needed that this meat. This was the meat, you know. That last week was a setup. People complained last week because they're like, this is all repeat of stuff we already knew from. They just read like the scene with the armor. That was just rehash of the dialogue from Boba Fett. Fine, this is for the people who didn't see Boba Fett, but anyways, I don't know why they don't do at least like Bad Batch does it. They do 2 episodes at the beginning of the season. You know?
Bad Batch did the 2 episodes in the beginning, a 2 episode in the middle, and they're going to do a 2 episode at the end.
Yeah.
But there's a lot fewer episodes of The Mandalorian.
Yeah. They got to stretch it out.
You know,
because they want to keep people streaming.
Yeah, Bad Batch got 18 episodes. Mandalorian's got 8. Is it 6 or 8?
8. I hope it's 8.
It's
6 just would not be enough.
Not enough.
Especially if the episodes are 30 minutes like last week. It was 35 with credits.
Well, today's
40.
runtime was 44, I think.
Yeah.
But that's with credit.
Yeah, no, so sorry. 40.
Yeah, it's 4401 or 4401 is when the credits end.
I half expected it. I don't know why. I half expected once Grogu left to go get help that they roll credits. I would have been so pissed if that was the case. But that whole third act of this episode really delivered. So I was just like, oh, this is amazing. Yeah.
I thought it was funny how Bo-Katan kept calling like Grogu and Din like your father and your dad and like your kids and like pretty strong there.
Yeah. So there's I just looked it up. There's eight episodes for this season.
Great. Great. Do we know the names of the episodes? No, right? They don't release the names.
No, we don't get the names until the episodes air. So.
Yeah. I like that, there's going to be another episode down in the mines. So that's
And Wikipedia doesn't have a date for Night of 1,000 Tears. It just says during the Imperial era. So
Yeah, we might find out more detail about that. I have thought that Din was going to take off his helmet to go in the water. I don't know why I
I
thought
thought
that.
so too.
I thought he
You
was
know?
going to straight strip down, no armor, like just straight
Uh-huh.
like
Start over,
Skip-
basically.
skivvies.
Yes.
Yeah, like
Uh-huh. Like even
he
though
should-
she's there,
he
she's
should've-
like
yeah.
she's not going to tell anybody.
Well,
probably.
she would be the witness.
Mhm.
He would
The proof.
bathe in the waters and then put his helmet back on to once again never take it off again.
Uh-huh. Kind of like a full circle of the beginning of the previous episode with the kid
Yeah,
going in the water.
yeah, with Jimmy Kimmel's nephew.
So what was going to be the proof had he succeeded in this episode and they got out of there? Was he going to like take a jar of water or something? Like I don't know how he's going to prove that he was there. Maybe a hollow of the hollow vid. I don't know how you prove that you were there. He's probably going to take like a mythosaur tooth now or something. Be like, here. Does any of your guys have a mythosaur tooth? I got one from a real freaking live one.
I think they were basically setting it up that they're linked on the quest to like restore Mandalore. Like the fact that they're both witness to the like rise of a new mythosaur in the water.
Yeah.
Like, do you think anyone would just like believe it if you said, "Oh yeah, I went swimming in the living waters of Mandalore, the mines of Mandalore, and saw the mythosaur"? And it's like, you did, buddy.
I love the fact that she took the time to read the plaque like a tourist, and she was smiling. She's like, da 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 da. Like it's just so silly.
Like she was saying that you haven't really visited until you've read the plaque.
Yeah, she made a point of it. It was funny, but without being like jokey. Like that was good humor.
Yes,
that's the kind of humor the show
because
needs.
when you're an 8-year-old little Mandalorian like princess and you come here, you read the sign, and everybody who goes there as the school project, reads the sign.
You got to memorize it. You got to be able to recite the sign. Like,
oh, speaking of the sign, did you happen to see what the translation of that text was from the language? It was Exodus, I believe.
Oh,
it was literally the book of Exodus. Like,
what do you mean?
The start of it. The little piece of like text that Din brought and then was like showing off like this was taken from Mandalore. That
somebody translated
text.
that.
Yeah, it was the first passage of Exodus about the not the first passage, but the Jews leaving from Egypt.
Wow, that's funny that they would do that and not just have like some random Mandalorian text because they know people are going to translate that, so it's an Easter egg.
And that's what it was.
Wow, no, I didn't see that. I'm gonna have to check that
and that's not just somebody making that out. That's confirmed.
That's
nerds translated it, right?
Nerds translated it.
That is kind of funny. That's kind of funny.
Because that's all Western religion right there. Like it's all three of the big ones as the Book of Exodus.
They literally could have put like somebody's like dinner order on there.
That would have been funny.
Yeah.
Porg soup. What did they call it? Pog soup?
Pog. Yeah, not porg.
There is porg soup, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, Chewbacca makes it.
And then there's that tube chowder. Remember the tube chowder from last season? Where
it
squirts out. Yummy.
It has live squid in it.
Delicious.
Grogu liked it.
Yeah.
He was playing with his food. Grogu didn't eat nothing this episode.
He hasn't eaten anything.
He ate stuff in the first episode. He was stealing jelly beans.
He was stealing space M&Ms.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Whatever those little candies were. Yeah. He's straight using the Force for all the things that we would have been using it for when we were little kids. Spinning around in a chair
and jumping out.
Yeah. Jumping out of ships to give crazy ladies hugs,
That's amazing though.
I like that Pele called him grandpa when he asked for that memory board. It's like they don't make those anymore, grandpa. Like that was
because it's that old,
Mhm.
It's like asking for like a Model T's, an
Mhm.
engine for a Model T or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
what are you asking for?
Yeah,
Like,
you
I
got,
need-
you got a radiator for a Model T, please.
Uh-huh.
Like,
And she asked the Jawa in Jawas. That's when she asked them, right?
Yeah.
That was great.
And she's like, no.
Mm-mm.
Pelimoto
It's
show, I'm telling you.
And the entire thing was they knew like instantly, like, no.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't scavenge that kind of. I never see.
no,
that.
'cause
Well,
you don't-
I don't think they want anything to do with any IG models.
Yeah, no, because
Right.
if those things are online, they're gonna kill you. It's like, what was the prime directive was like, I must not be captured kind of deal. Like,
Mhm.
that's not just
Yeah, what made-
IG-11. That's
It's a
IG
tall-
droids. Period.
It's a
That
tall
was the
order.
hardware. Yeah, that was like
Yeah.
that was the BIOS there booting. It's like, do not get captured immediately. Oh.
Mhm.
Even before like understanding what getting captured means, the BIOS loads.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dang, that
man.
even flying down to the Mandalore was cool. Flying through the cloud. Like
Yeah,
I
I
thought
mean,
I thought it was gonna be like that terror storm, like all the way down to the surface. I was like, oh, that's not good.
Well, I thought he was gonna
Crash.
into
Yeah, I
into
kind
a
of thought he was gonna
swamp,
crash.
and then
When
the
your
ship would-
instrument panel starts
then the
flickering
ship
out.
would sink, and some little green dude's gonna lift it up out of the water. No. Oh wait, no, that's Empire Strikes Back. Sorry.
They explained everything away.
Did he do the most important thing when your instruments are flickering out? Did he tap the glass? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
he actually did.
He tried to
Is he gonna-
Fonzie it.
Yeah.
He explained it
Some
away as
percussive maintenance.
the magnetic field of the planet was disrupted by the fusion bombs as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So not only did it get glassed, it's screwed up on that level too,
Mhm.
So
on a geomagnetic level.
so I just brought up the robot crab thing.
One of the coolest thing I've seen. Like this is like Matrix level, like a freak
To
tech.
me though,
Mhm.
that eye, like for a second, it was like reminded me of General Grievous.
Yeah, it's biomechanical for sure. It has some kind of brain in
Yeah.
it,
And it
which
had
I
that
want a
weird-
backstory, but I'm glad they didn't stop the whole thing just to.
Just to explain
Well,
what it
this
is.
yeah, this is what this is from. I was like, no, we don't need to know that right now.
No,
this
they
makes
could-
it
they could-
scarier.
They could put the backstory of this in some video game or book.
Uh-huh.
You know, that'd be kind of cool.
And like Jimbo was saying, like it was feeding on people traveling there, trying to go down there. There was helmets everywhere, right?
Mhm.
In the lair.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a bunch of
It's-
helmets inside the lair.
Yeah, and he
It's
actually
good
was
stuff.
he used the helmet as bait.
Mhm.
Yes. So
You know?
it knows that this is a thing.
So here's the droid emerging from
Uh-huh.
the top. That just looks sick.
Yeah, just the way it moved, like the CGI in this is like next level. Like it looked,
Yeah.
it looks so good. And then also the head of this portion also comes off, right? Like it had little crab
Yeah.
legs that came off. So that's even freakier. Like just like that could
Yeah,
you could
that's-
put that could be at any like sci-fi horror movie, coming out right now, and it would still be like amazing. They didn't cheap out on this creature.
No.
And it's not even the main creature. Like there's a freaking mythosaur under the water, in the bottom of the mines. So yeah, I like that stuff. Not to use a Lord of the Rings thing again, but it's like going down to the bottom of the mines of Moria and seeing where the Balrog came from. That kind of stuff. Like that
Right.
it drives the imagination, at least for me. I want to see all that stuff. I can't wait for the next episode because of what they're going to discover and see down there. Yeah. We don't even know how long the next episode is, do we? No, they don't
Nope.
tell us anything.
There's no information for.
I'd imagine around a 40-minute again, I would hope.
Mhm.
It's interesting that Bo-Katan, I kind of thought after the last episode that she was done. Like we maybe see her later in the season. I kind of like that. She's brought
Yeah.
into the adventure now. Like she's I want to say on the team, but she involved now. She can't like just disappear.
Right.
And like Jimbo was saying, like she's gonna be part of the quest now to help, I don't know, recolonize Mandalore.
restored the Mandalorians. I don't even think like it's like restoring Mandalore the planet so much as Mandalore the people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's more important.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think
I mean, they could try to start a colony there, but or they could all live on a ship. Who knows? Like, she just
They
needs
might
to
have to
Well,
re-terraform
people
their planet.
Yeah, it
I
might
mean,
be easier just to blow it up again to break up all the glass into tiny
Just
little
break the
silica
glass with
fragments.
it, like, yeah.
You know, like a volcanic rock, you break it into
I
like little
don't.
sand and then start again.
Yeah, I don't think they'll do that.
No.
I mean, it has breathable air. That's a huge deal.
Just go to Concordia
Yeah, Concordia's right there. The
or
moon,
Kalevala.
yeah, Kalavala's right there. I think there's a
Concordia
few
doesn't
more
have the
moons.
mines. They don't have the waters of the mines of Mandalore.
No, but I mean, you go to the main planet to do important things, but for living, you can't go hang out on
Drop
the
in for
less.
like ritual stuff.
Yeah, yeah. You live on the moons and go to the main planet for special occasions. That's it's like you don't live at church. You go there on special occasions. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be interesting to
But-
see where this season goes with all that stuff. In the trailer for the season, you see a bunch of Mandalorians together. I don't know if that was from the first episode.
Mhm.
You mean
it might have been.
like where they're dropping out of a ship?
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't seen that yet. I think that is back on Navarro.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's back on Navarro.
Probably to help. He probably asked them to help fight the pirates or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the-
He pissed off the pirates when he left.
yep.
Just sick the mythosaur on the pirates. Let them deal with it.
But that would require moving the
Tra-
mythosaur
transport-
from Mandalore to. Yeah, no, I don't think
You need
they'll
help
do
from
that.
the space whales, the space squid,
Yeah.
the squid whales.
Yeah. The reaction to the Purgles was pretty good on the internet.
Yeah.
Even people who didn't know what they were like, "Holy crap! There's like hyperspace life." Like, yeah, there is apparently,
Mhm.
which is cool. I like anything kind of. I like the sci-fi part of Star Wars, even though it's like sci fantasy, like
Mhm.
anything like that. That's kind of unique. Good
Yeah.
stuff.
It's just a good world building edition.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
so-
it opens up a lot of doors. You can do whatever you want with it.
When Bo-Katan was reading the plaque I think she was more reading the plaque for Grogu's sake as opposed
Mhm.
to
It was a nice touch.
for Mando.
They
but
have to
the
do that. But
whole-
they did.
Explaining that the mythosaur, like the skull, why it was the symbol of the planet, that thing, and that's why they made sure to call attention to that for the final scene when they actually show,
The actual mythosaur.
Yeah.
the mythosaur.
'Cause they also-
There's-
There was
'Cause the
also
first part of
really good. There was really good focus on the actual like the skull signet on the first episode,
yeah,
like with the armor. It like really like honed in on that like
Uh-huh.
that this
No,
message.
it's good. It's for the fans and the newcomers alike to really drive that home.
yeah.
Mhm.
The symbology behind the mythosaur and the Mandalorian culture. So that's
Mhm.
it's good stuff. I like it when Bo-Katan shot the ceiling, where she saw movement
Oh yeah.
in the glass ceiling. I was like, what the hell is that? And she already knew.
Mhm.
And she named those creatures. I forgot what she called them, but she named them. So they used to live out in the wastelands, but now they're everywhere. Because
Yeah.
Mandalore went through a lot of really messed up ages. I mean, they were already living in domes from the radiation. So
Okay, they're called.
Yeah,
they're
it wasn't
called-
great before.
yeah, it wasn't even great when she was a kid.
Here you go. Those are Alamites.
Alamites.
That's what those creatures were.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Alamites.
I was scrolling through here trying to find oh yeah, that fight though with
Bo-Katan got to do some badass stuff in this episode, which I
Yeah.
appreciate.
Bo-Katan using the dark saber was pretty awesome.
And blasting stuff and fighting with the Alamites. because she didn't have the dark saber at that point yet, right?
No, but she had the dark saber when she fought the droid dude thing, whatever it is.
Yeah, the abomination.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. Give me more stuff like that. I want to see, how many times can you kill a pirate? Like, I want to see like stuff that is not, you can't just steamroll.
Mhm.
Yeah. The stakes got to go up higher. Fighting other Mandalorians, I'd like to see that.
I just put an image. I put an image that might be a spoiler for the episode. It's in the private chat.
Hmm.
Might
Oh,
want to
you
show
sent
that
me a
one.
couple things. Oh, you sent me both of those things. Sorry.
Wrecked for 42 minutes.
I'm pretty bad with looking at the
No, it's quite all right.
Wait, which one should I open first? The
second one.
The second one? All right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Let's see. Wait, where's my buttons?
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, chapter 18. The one where Jin gets wrecked for 42 minutes. Yeah, it's pretty accurate. I mean, he's he goes to find R5D4 and gets in that fight with those Alamites, and then he's back to what do you call it? Goes back to the ship, comes back out, gets wrecked by the
He does all right
robot
against
dude.
the first Alamite attack.
Yeah, but then he gets wrecked by he gets trapped. Really,
it was almost like the Darksaber was a hindrance to him. I feel like he probably would have done better without it in that first fight.
Yeah,
like he was trying to wield it, and it was like just use your other weapons, man. Like you're obviously not good at fighting like 3-4 assailants with that thing. So that was interesting.
There's some good memes from this episode.
Yeah, there was some good ones.
There's now another link in the private.
Another one on. Oh boy, I hope.
Yeah, pretty much. She was shocked. She was genuinely shocked. Like, oh.
Yep.
Now, why don't they? She should acknowledge that the mythosaurs did exist at one point, but I guess they're so long ago that might as well be a myth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's one of those it's like the Purgle. Like people say it exists. Some people claim to have seen them, but until you see it with your own eyes, it's it's what it is.
And here's what I don't get. I've always not gotten it, and it's been a bit of a plot hole. How do people forget about the Jedi in 25 years? Oh, you guys up a bit.
That's a lot of discussion. It's kind of cut off. The screen's cut off.
Framing's wrong.
You're cropping off the actual punchline.
The joke.
Yeah, I'm trying to move it. I got too many windows. Too many windows.
Don't scroll down on a tweet on a live stream. Always good. There you go.
That's what I want. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not used to using Twitter for anything, so.
Mm-hmm.
You're lucky it's even up. It's been having a lot of trouble lately.
Mm-hmm.
Has it?
Yeah. They're having they don't have enough engineers anymore.
Oh, well, didn't Elon Musk fire a bunch of people right away?
Yeah.
And now he's done it again. Another round of.
He is. He's not the greatest boss. That's for sure.
He's a special guy.
Yeah. Special is a word for it. But I was trying to get the. Dang it! I keep clicking on the wrong things. StreamYard's not the smoothest thing to use without their little shortcut
User error.
machine. Yeah, definitely user error, and it's all my. What the heck did I do now? I want this go away.
Yeah.
There we go.
So what do you expect to happen in the next episode? The creature didn't actually look that pissed to me.
The mythosaur.
Yeah. Do you think they're gonna fight it?
I
Like it was
I-
just
I
like
was
what
I
the
was
hell's
trying to
going on?
I was trying to find the dialogue if see if Bo-Katan said that Mandalore defeated or tamed. I feel like she said tamed for some reason.
Tamed.
But
Interesting.
yeah,
Yeah, you should definitely pull up that section.
but I haven't been able to find exactly that piece of dialogue. Yeah, here we go. Finally found it. Now I got to bring that screen back into the show. They only StreamYard only lets me share like one window at a time unless I got stuff set up in as slides. So
Mhm.
here we go. Mandalore the Great is said to have tamed the mythical beast.
Oh,
So
okay.
he doesn't have to
Tamed it.
defeat it, but I do, like you guys know, I talk about him quite a bit. I watch makingstarwars.net streams quite often, and he was saying, Jason Ward, that is, he was saying that the rumor is that Bo-Katan is going to end up with mythosaur armor.
Wow.
Now, I don't know if that means it was made from the mythosaur or it's mythosaur themed, or you know, like I don't know the specifics on it. I didn't see any pictures, so I can't speak anything.
This will be a chance for her to prove herself to the other Mandalorians and get maybe her army back.
This I don't know if how well you guys can see this freeze of Bo's face. She's during this episode has had a bunch of scenes where she's got like this overly smug look on her face.
I mean, she's walking in the ashes of her civilization.
Yeah, but
So she's
like,
kind of she's over it.
Mhm.
yeah,
Like that was where she was like last episode. She was completely over it. Now here she is like getting dragged into it, and
It's almost like a big
Maybe
joke
not.
to her.
yeah,
She's like, yeah,
it
this
is like
great,
it is like
wasn't it? Awesome
the universe
civilization
playing
we
a
had.
joke on her. It's the universe playing a joke on her, like where she has to keep on digging through the bones of her, like what should have been hers, kind of.
yeah.
Except I don't think she's that bad a character, even though she did like kind of overthrow and undermine her own sister for control of.
Yeah, but you know,
Mandalore.
people learn from their mistakes, and she realized that, you know, she had made a mistake after working for Darth Maul for, you know,
Mhm.
X amount of time with the other Mandalorians, you know,
Mhm.
the well, I think wasn't it Death Watch just before. It seems like it was like before Din was around, but so here's I'm just gonna play this for a brief amount of time. So this is the beginning of the mythosaur reveal, and you can see its lower jaw and side horn, right?
Mhm.
And then we get wait, hold on, let me make sure.
I like that
Oh,
she
nice.
turned her light off so that when she's like, oh, I'll turn my light off so I can see his light. Remember that?
Yeah.
part? That was a nice touch. I also like the light on the pram too. They really played that up.
His little Grogu pod.
Mhm.
I think he calls it. Doesn't Din call it his pod when they?
Oh yeah,
first
seal your
land?
pod.
Yeah.
Seal your pod.
So here's the mythosaur. Boom! Looks right at him, and she's freaking out. She gasps, but all they show is bubbles. I didn't hear her gasp, but they got the bubbles.
Bubbles shot out.
Look at that. That's very it's like freaking Cthulhu, man. It's like
Yeah. No, I love all this stuff. I hope there's an amazing like a battle or something happens in this next episode. I'd be disappointed if not.
I mean, let's see. Where does I gotta bring this back out? I don't want to show too much footage. I don't want to get copyright slammed. Let's see. How does this end? She like okay, so they see it. I know this is like the end of it. It's not changing them. They get out of the water. They're freaking out. And then it goes to credits. So yeah, so what's next?
It's gonna run away. It's gonna be actually scared of their little lights, so it's just gonna swim away.
Right.
End of
Oh
the
my
episode.
god, I saw the little things with the weapons.
I
I
know.
better get out of here. No.
It's like when you see a jellyfish in the ocean, you freak out like yeah, and it just runs off. Scaredy cat.
Is that what happens?
Yeah.
I've never encountered a jellyfish in the ocean before.
I just using it as an example of like
Okay.
creepy. Like you step on something slimy in the ocean, it just freaks out. It's just gonna run away.
Is that thing that happens to people? They step on slimy things in the ocean?
I'm being sarcastic because like obviously
I
he
don't know,
doesn't
'cause
care.
I don't go to the ocean.
Yes, there is a body of water called the ocean, and people.
Yeah, I know about that. I've seen it. I could see it from some of the mountains near here, but I don't really go in it.
Don't step in it.
So I don't know what there is to step on in there. I would assume
there are life
and
forms,
syringes, and all kinds.
There's
of
all
weird
sorts of stuff.
Human trash. So that's why I don't go in it. I expect stuff that you shouldn't be stepping on to be stepped on.
It's the ocean. It's pretty gross, but it's been gross for like billions of years. Oh.
Okay, yeah.
It's just natural grossness.
Dinosaur pee.
I mean, all the fish that are and mammals that live in the water do all their stuff in the water. So
everything they do everything in the water.
Yeah. So
don't Google how fish reproduce.
Yeah, it's kind of gross.
So or how surfers use the bathroom.
That's why I boil all my water before I drink it. So
yeah, it's a nice setup.
About the larva.
It's a nice setup for the next episode. This is how you do a hangover, a cliffhanger.
Yeah,
that's how you do it.
I keep meaning to say, I've been meaning to say this since we started doing this today. I thought last week's episode of Mandalorian was probably one of the better Star Wars episodes I've seen, and then this one came out and topped it. So hopefully
it's a good trend.
So yeah, hopefully they'll continue the trend and just keep outdoing the week before's show. But
well, see, that's the thing. I felt short-changed last week when he's like, "Well, I'm going to Mandalore," and then it goes to credits. It's like, gotta wait a whole week. Like this episode, I felt like, yeah, this is what I wanted to see last week.
I expected a lot more time spent on Tatooine. Like I knew
why
they would. Well,
fixing his starfighter.
I knew that they had to go to Tatooine to get R5D4, and just because we saw R5 riding in the N1 on the trailers, so I knew Pele was going to have to change Grogu's little dome unit to be a droid compartment again, and then like it was. Boom! Quick little Pele scene.
He would do another side mission on Tatooine.
They actually kept the broken tooth in Pele's from when she got hit last season, or was it?
God, I was wondering about that. I think
it was Book of Boba Fett. She gets hit in the mouth and she spits out a tooth.
Oh,
still there, yeah.
There's no dentist on Tatooine.
Not a human dentist.
No, I mean I'm sure if she wanted like a cybernetic tooth, she could have asked Thundercat for one, but.
But it's probably all
or one of those suicide tooths that the Imperials have.
Yeah, Pele doesn't seem like someone who would commit suicide. I don't know why.
What if she's captured by
she's-
the,
no,
by the
no, no,
rebels?
she
She's
needs-
too.
She needs the Duke, Atreides one where she can spit the poison
the
out.
gas.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what. Yeah,
Poison tooth that
that's
goes outward.
the poison tooth. She could crack out of her, out of place, and spit into someone's cup or something. Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
The tooth.
Uh,
Remember the tooth.
tic tac of death.
I'm coming up against my hard
Your
out.
heart out. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for about an hour and a half. So, any last words on anything that we saw? Any that we didn't touch on?
Mythosaur. Fuck yeah.
The mythosaur. Yeah.
My favorite part
can't wait.
was the abomination spider thing. That was just awesome on so
Yeah.
many levels. Like
Mhm.
beyond Star Wars, even like one of the coolest things in science fiction I've seen.
Yeah,
Like-
totally. I hope there's something like it. Like, I don't know, maybe they'll have something similar to it in the new Star Wars Jedi game from Respawn. But who knows?
Oh yeah, when's that coming
Who
out?
knows? That comes out, I think, the first week of April. I have to check. It
was delayed.
It was supposed to come out the 18th or something like that, but it got delayed a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
So
that'll be
I'm
good.
not
The first
I'm not 100%
Fallen Order was
sure.
good.
But my plan is to stream that once I get my hands on it. I'm going to pre-order it so I can get it preloaded on my. I haven't decided if I'm going to get it for my PC or if I'm going to get it for my Xbox Series X. So it'll probably end up being the Series X, but my plan is to stream it while I'm playing.
Well, they have Discord on Series X now. I think they have Twitch on
yeah,
there.
they,
so.
they got all the stuff. So
And it frees your laptop so you can use it. You can still do other stuff while you're, So
Yep.
it would make sense.
Yep. yeah, totally.
All right, guys. Well, I'll catch you
All right.
next week. Wait, is there only one episode of Bad Batch next week? Or when are we getting the double
There's two.
episode?
The double episode is the finale. So we just got episode 12 today. And it's episodes 17 and 18 that are the doubled. So
Okay.
it won't be
Wow, we have a
until
lot more episodes.
the end of March. Wait,
Okay.
wait. Or is it mid-April? Today's the 8th. So it's 50, yeah, it's not till the second week of April, I think.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
So
All
there's
right.
a little bit
we
of
got
time
some Star
for the
Wars
finale.
coming up.
Yeah, several more hours of Star Wars content to go before the end of April. So I'm stoked. All right. Yeah, so I guess that's it. Everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for liking and sharing and all that kinds of stuff. And with that, we are out of here. May the Force be with you.